So the autumn calves are fairly starting to fill out now. Enjoying their wee creep area. And the cows, all happy munching away as well. So PD'd the autumn cows here a few days ago. Unfortunately I was so busy with sheep I didn't get a chance to even have a look and see. But what happens basically is the vet comes and he has a probe in his hand and he has goggles on, and those goggles show up a picture in front of him when he has the probe inside the cow, and then he can tell if she's in calf or not and how far on. So this then gives us a chance to input this information into HerdWatch that we're using, and then that generates a calving schedule. So we can sort of roughly predict when the cows might be calving come autumn time. On the whole, we were fairly happy with the results that we had. We did have 3 heifers that weren't in calf for whatever reason. There was no obvious signs that they shouldn't have been in calf. So we're wondering whether it's the bull has now reached maybe the age where he's just starting to struggle. Obviously the bull was taken out from them and we haven't seen them bulling, which is normally a fairly obvious sign that they're not in calf, but they haven't been. So for whatever reason they're not, so that was slightly disappointing. And then we had a couple of cows as well, a couple we didn't even put to the bull, so we knew that they'd be empty. Once they've reared their calves, those cows that aren't in calf will be getting sold, and the 3 heifers, they'll just be getting sold at any time, because if they're not going to produce a calf, unfortunately, we can't afford to keep them and we don't have the space to keep them. So this is the new bull that Dad bought, Trojan. He was intermediate champion. So we're just trying to get him used to us. A wee scratch. He does like a wee scratch. So got a few spring calves as well. We've been taking them out of the shed at the bottom once they've calved and round into here just to free up some space in the calving shed. So they're all quite happy. They have a wee creep at the back there. They don't get any feed or anything. They just go in through that gateway and they just get a wee space to lie down just to get them used to their own wee area. And then we've got the cow with the twins here. So she's still got both her calves at the moment, obviously. We'll be keeping one of them as a spare for ourselves, just in case, because you never know what might happen. Got her in this wee pen here, just so it's easier for us to feed her and give her water, and also just gives her a bit more space, and it frees up a pen in the calving shed as well. So she's doing tremendous. Big set of twins, but she's doing a fantastic job. She's obviously getting a wee bit of supplement feed as well, just to keep her going. And as I say, we'll be keeping that calf as a spare, just in case, because we all get problems. So new spring calving was going to be slightly later this year, just for a few different reasons. Been delaying getting heifers home, delay getting bulls in and whatnot. So unfortunately it has been slower. It's not what we'd like. We would like to have most of them calving in February, but it's just the way it goes, unfortunately. So we'll tighten up on that over this year and next year. It'll take a couple of years, you know. It's harder to get them back earlier than it is to push them back, if that makes sense. So it's something that we're working on. So yeah, but calving is fairly picking up now. This next 2 weeks I think we'll still see a fair heap. There's a lot of cows slack in that shed, and a lot of big udders. So we're in for a busy spell. On the whole, calving has been going quite well. I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to say any more. But as you can see, we still have quite a lot of cows still to go. So there is the odd one still calved in here that we need to move around, but yeah, just from the weekend. But on the whole, it's not been too bad. As I say, it has slipped slightly. It's not what we'd have liked, but you just got to roll with it. Can't really do much about it at the moment. We also like to test the colostrum of the cows. So when they calve, we'll take a wee sample and I test it on my refractometer. I'll try and get a wee video of that actually, just to test the quality of it, make sure that the calves are getting the absolute best start they possibly can in life. So I've just milked some colostrum off that. Yeah, we've got 400ml out one teat, and that's not at all. So I'm just going to go and test it now with my refractometer. So I'll just take a wee bit. You just need like a tiny amount, and then just pop a couple dots on the front there, and then shut the lid. See the colostrum in there, and then you look through this bit and it tells you how good or bad it is. So that is reading over 40, so that is very good. So you can see it there. That's what you see when you look through it. So you can see it's way up at 40, which is pretty good stuff, I would say. Just back in checking the ewes. So that one's not long out. Hopefully she'll crack on another second. Just given the ewes a fresh bed. This is all the ones that I've let loose. Sunbathing on mum's back. So just giving them a wee fresh bed, just to keep everyone happy. Got lots of them out here now. Hopefully if the weather stays fair this week, I'll get them out to some grass. But for just now, they seem to be happy enough. They're all doing really well. Starting to fill out a wee bit now as well. But it's nice when you see them all running up and down, playing with each other. It's good. Obviously just this in itself is a huge benefit because we wouldn't have had this space last year. The shed that we normally use where the pet lambs are would have been the only space that we would have really, and obviously the ewes that were still 2 lamb were in that space, so it was quite tricky. So this is a huge benefit, just being able to keep them in that wee bit longer. Obviously I would like to put them straight outside, but because we're lambing quite sharp and the weather is quite unpredictable, I'm much better to just keep them in that wee bit longer and just give them their time, get them rigged so when they go outside they just fly. That's the start of the second colour now. There is a couple reds there, huge big hard udder, so she's really holding them in there, but the majority of the reds have finished now, and that's the blue starting. So we had her, we've had this ewe as well this morning, and another one just down there. After the ewes have lambed out in the big bit, I will then put them into one of the smaller pens, obviously. So here we've got a lovely fresh bedded pen. She then gets access to water out of the drinker bowl, and I will get her a bucket of silage. Right, let's get this ewe into a pen. So obviously I could use all of these pens here that are along the front that are lovely embedded, but you'd have to cart water to them. So I'm just trying to use the back pens as much as possible to save having to cart water. That might sound lazy, but anything not to carry water. Come on then, lass. So I'm just carrying them by their front legs. This doesn't hurt them. Come on, lass. Just walk slowly. Sometimes you have to put them down just for her to realise that it's her lambs. Some of them barge past you to get into the pen quickly because they know what the score is. down there. That's it, lass. Lovely job. Right, so I've got the ewe in the pen. The lambs, every lamb gets their navel dipped in iodine, and also they get a probiotic. This is just to try and give them a bit of a kickstart and help their immune systems. And the iodine's just to try and prevent any infection or disease getting up through the navel cord. When I put the ewes into a pen and do the lambs as well, this is when I mark the ewes. So we number all our ewes as well, and then the lambs get numbered at a later date once they're ready to go out. But I number the ewes when I do the iodine. That was an absolutely atrocious number. I number the ewes when I do the lambs. It's just my way of knowing that the lambs are done then. So lambs just get one squirt, and then a couple pumps on the navel. So last, watch out a sec. Where's your other one? She's needing a wee drink. Where's your other one, lass? Good girl. Half a straw with you. So a wee pump that's kind of nearly finished. Watch out, lass. And then a couple of squirts on the navel. We're good to go. So because I haven't had to lamb this show as well, I've not had to do anything with her. I'm just going to check her milk. So lovely thick yellow stuff that side. And again, lovely thick yellow stuff the other side. Good job, lass. 2 good lambs, lovely bag of milk. Now look after them. Pick out. This is the ewes after birth, official word, clean, placenta, whatever you want to call it. I find these so interesting. Some people find them absolutely disgusting, but I just find them so interesting. So this obviously is what feeds the lamb inside the ewe. And it's just all the blood vessels and everything. I just find it incredible. So you can see here, that's obviously where the lamb would have been attached by its navel cord to all of this. So she's got a fair weight in her. 2 big, strong lambs. She's trying to look after herself. She's trying to produce colostrum and milk for them. And she's got this as well to carry. And they can be a fair weight. Anyway, enough about cleans. That can get taken away. We just take these out, take them out the pen and throw them away. Just because obviously over time they start to rot and they stink. And they're also quite slippy. Right, guys. So same again. They get a squirt. Probiotic. I think that's nearly finished. And then navels are done too. That's right. Come on. There we go. And then I'll get this one. Watch out, lass. This one's a wee bit smaller. There we go. Lovely. And then I'll just mark the ewe. Hopefully this will go better than the last one did. Good job. And I've already checked her udder when I put her in a pen. So she's all good. So lovely and quiet. Peaceful. I know some of you will be asking or wondering what probiotic we use, and this is by no means an ad. I have bought these every single year, again this year. I'm just sharing a product that we have used for years and we get on really well with, because I know some of you will be interested. So the probiotic that we're using and have been using is Agriloid's Colitox. It's not the cheapest, it is very expensive, but it works. We have always had good results with it. So it's great for their immune system. It's got lots of trace elements, vitamins, and it's a probiotic, it's not an antibiotic. 1 pump per lamb. Used it for years, just sharing it because I know some people will be interested. It's all go again. So we have a yow there with a water bag. We've got this yow's lamb 1 here. And this other yow is licking it, so I wonder if she's going to go as well. She hasn't started, but that one in the middle. So just going to go and put some of the disinfectant powder down on the pens that I've just moved sheep out of, and put shavings down, because I'm going to move that yow that's lambed 1 out of there before the next yow lambs, and then we've got a mix up. Sprinkle that down. So after every yow comes out, every pen gets sprinkled. And then once they've got a base of straw in them, we then put in just some shavings, some wood shavings. Put some of them down. And then I'll just go sprinkle it out. Ready for the next yow. On that note, I think that'll do for this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please feel free to give it a wee like and subscribe below. And please feel free to check out my website. Thank you again, and we'll see you for the next one.